up the tempo. Shawty got no choice but to get low. Ain't the tallest, but I'm ballin' like I'm 6'4". Yeah, the life I live, I was meant for. It's simple, if we up the tempo. Shawty got no choice but to get low. Ain't the tallest, but I'm ballin' like I'm 6'4".
Come on, man.
Locked in.
Dap it up.
It's old school, new school. You know what it is. You know who it is.
OG Lee in the house. Once again.
Another one.
Thank goodness.
OG Lee.
And thank goodness
You
again.
in the E. Thank again.
Hallelujah.
OG Lee, you in the E, the best father-son podcast in America, man.
What?
In America.
En el mundo.
In el mundo.
En el mundo.
Hey.
And you know what else?
What's that?
I don't always drink beer.
I don't.
But when I do,
I don't.
I prefer 62. Some spittles came out that time. Goddammit. 62.
You feeling 62?
62.
It is.
62.
It
My.
It is indeed.
62.
How you feeling, man? We off a good episode.
Shit, man.
We
You can't
rolling
beat
into
it,
another
man.
one.
Today is one of those brisk days. It's kind of cool,
Mm-hmm.
but it's one of them days that make you walk quick. You know what I'm saying? Handle your business. Don't just lounge and lamp and shit. You know what I'm saying?
You gotta get moving.
Gots to get it moving.
Gots to get it moving.
It's Saturday morning, man.
Yeah.
And you know what's so exciting?
Tell me
Today
about
is
it.
February 1st, 2025. Mark that for the record.
The first of the month.
Oh, my goodness.
first of the
They wrote a
month.
song about it. You want to hear it?
Hit
Here
me.
we go. First of the month, yeah. First of the month used to be some shit, man.
Yeah.
You know, people back in the day,
Yeah.
they didn't have that check to bank. So people would be waiting around for that
Oh,
check.
that
They
direct
had to
deposit
physically,
type.
they had to physically take the check. And back in the day, the check cashing place was where a lot of people went. They didn't have bank accounts like a lot of poor people today even don't have them.
Mm-hmm.
They used to go to the check cashing place. And sometimes the line would be wrapped around the block. People standing there, man. Sometimes I would be one of them, standing in line,
What year?
waiting to get that check.
Give me the year. Give me the
This is
year.
1966, man, 1967, and going up into the 70s even.
Yeah.
Direct deposit, even I guess more than that when you think about it, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
check to bank and direct deposit didn't start till probably what, late 90s, if then even.
Man.
So yeah, you would have
Think
to just
about it.
get that check. You had to physically, and then if the mailman came late in your neighborhood, see, then you had to then try to rush out and get everything done. Man, it was something.
Interesting. How
But the
often
lines,
does that happen?
man.
The delayed check happen often in the mail?
No, it wouldn't be delayed. That's just
Oh.
the normal time. They come late in some neighborhoods when they deliver, is what I'm saying.
Oh, I see.
So you know, once you got that check, you'd have your coat on if it was, you know, if it was, that season, right? You just waiting. Your mom just was waiting for the mailman to come. You know what I'm saying? As soon as he dropped that, boom, you off.
Look at new school.
Yeah.
New school so naive, bro. Just
I used to
thinking
love
about
that
it.
though. You stand in line because you know it was a check. Your mom, the pizzeria was right next door to the check cashing
know
place.
it's
You know what I'm
coming,
saying?
baby.
And then the bakery was right next door on the other side.
Easy
So
money.
you knew you was getting something.
Come on, what
You
you
know?
going for? Just take a little nostalgic walk. You know what I mean? What are you in the bakery, pizzeria?
Man, look,
What you getting?
we didn't really realize because we thought it was normal life.
Yeah.
We didn't really realize how lucky we were. I used to go to a school in Brooklyn, PS 159. And it was at the juncture of Crescent and Pickett. And then so when you got out of school, on one side, as soon as you crossed over, was the candy store. Then next door to the candy store was the bakery. And it was a bakery where they actually baked shit and had all kinds of shit. Most of it you couldn't afford, you know what I'm saying? But there was enough shit that, was affordable for you.
Yeah.
As a kid, especially, right? Then when you went like 2 doors down was the pizzeria.
Hold on,
Fresh
bakery.
pizza,
Give me
fresh
just
pizza.
a one specific thing they got in that thing.
Donuts, man. Freshly baked. Because that was, like everywhere, glazed donuts is like on the bottom line of pastry. You know what I'm saying? But if they good and and fresh, you ain't tripping.
Melt in your mouth, cotton candy like.
Yeah, it was the kind of bakery, man. You could get a nice homemade birthday cake.
Ooh,
you know what I'm saying?
If
you could afford it from that bakery.
But
it was enough stuff, like I said, that you could get. Then 2 doors down, you had the pizzeria. 2 doors down over there on the corner of Pine and Picking.
Brooklyn,
East New York.
Shout out. Yeah.
Right on the corner, you could get a Hero.
Book.
But you had to be real good because the Hero at that time was like $1. You know what I'm saying?
Trying to break the bank.
But you had to be careful. You had to have had some money. You had to be good for your moms to, break the bank and buy that Hero. But you could get the pizza, man, for 35 cents a slice,
Come on.
Or 4 Zeppelis. Shout out East New York. A lot of people don't know about the Zeppelis. You could get 4 big Zeppelis for $0.25. Oh, man. Walking home from school, we could split that. You got a dime, you got a nickel. Boom. Get some Zeppelis and everybody be happy.
For 50?
25 cents for 4 Zeppelis. We put that together, get that, and split 4 Zeppelis.
All right, come on.
Yeah.
We kind of
got. But let me say this too. On the other side was what you call a delicatessen, which was a restaurant oriented to Jewish, right? So you could go on that side and get a knish. The main thing we would get was knishes, and people don't know about knishes, but knishes is like a knish, is like, I would say like a whipped potato, white potato, in a crust
of what?
Just like a golden crust of
breaded type of deal.
Yeah, you would say like a breading or whatever. Just look it up. It's KNISH, knish. But anyway, and then a lot of people put mustard on it. That's like people put mustard on the knish. But anyway, so you had the delicatessen, and then on the other side of Crescent and Picking, if you crossed the other way, you had another candy store. So as a kid, man, community. And see, all you had to do was find a penny. And people, like now, they drop pennies. That's what made life so beautiful. All you had to do was find a penny. You could run to the store and get 2 cookies for a penny. And then when I'm talking to Grammy, she's like, I remember when we used to get 5, So I'm like, man, inflation is killing a little motherfucker now. He got to go have a lemonade stand and all of that shit just to buy, a soda for himself.
Pay taxes and then.
Shit. But yeah, man, it was total,
Sheesh, Rama.
But yeah, man. And then this is another thing I will have to say.
Come on. We strolling right now. That was
a part of PS 159. And I'm saying it for anybody who's hearing this, because I wonder how long it lasted. Because when you go up Picking and go from Crescent to the next street, which was Pine, which was right by the store where you would get the Heroes, as soon as you turn that corner, you were out of sight from the school officials who were serving as like the crossing guards and all of that. So as soon as you turn that corner, every day was a fight. Every single day was a fight, man. And for people who know from PS 159, they know that, man. So we've been fighting against each other ever since, man. And it comes from what would always be happening is the 2 people that's in the fight, there would be people around them egging them on, man.
Instigators.
Exactly, man.
The instigation.
Yes, because we were talking about some stuff like that before we even came online. But always, it's other people's energy who hype them up. You know what I'm saying?
Instigation to agitation.
Yeah. And I tell you what, I don't know, this doesn't rhyme, but it ended up being a lot of ass whippings over there around that block, man. And then to stay out of sight, you just went down Pine till you got to Glenmore, and then you were just totally out of sight. And the school officials, they didn't give a damn. Once you get out of our sight, you out of our mind. Every day.
Out of sight, out of mind.
Every day. And it would be, I guess, like a spectacle, because you'd be stop by and got you either your candy or your pizza or your bakery. By the time you get to Pine, they fighting. You sitting around standing around eating your pizza, watching people, you know what I'm saying? Like a MMA before his time and shit.
Oh, so y'all were the original sickos.
The originals, man.
You trying to come
that shit was originated
Dana.
In every public school in Brooklyn and probably everywhere else for that matter. PS 159, shout out.
That kind of brings me to a topic that I had.
What is that, my brother?
We took a nostalgic stroll, if you will.
Wait. I got to interrupt. Did I ask you how you doing, man?
Oh,
How is you doing?
how I doing?
What is we gonna do?
I'm doing pretty good actually, man. It's a Saturday, up bright. We shooting an early episode, so you know what I mean. The sun always gets me right.
The sun is
I'm
shining.
feeling good. I'm vibing, man, and it's decent weather, so cooling.
Everything
And
else
it's
is
a
cool.
Rockets game on tonight, man.
I keep telling these people, man, this guy is a Rocket fan.
Come on, man.
Anybody else out there a Rockets fan?
Shouts out.
I don't blame you.
Drop a rocket in the comment.
Yeah.
Bandwagoners will take you to. I know how it is.
You know what, man? The Rockets are probably good, right? But to show you, the last time I even remember seeing the Rockets, I remember seeing the bearded one.
Oh, okay,
How many
that's
years has
respectful.
that been?
Probably like 6 or something.
Okay,
like that.
that's the last thing I remember about representing the Rockets was when he was playing for them.
Come on, as you should.
And I
man,
don't know if
as
they've
you
had
should.
I don't know if they've had a bunch of better players or good players, whatever, since him.
It's been a build since then. So hey,
Okay.
we glad you back.
All right.
Appreciate
then.
that, man.
All right
We
then.
really do
All right
respect
then.
that.
I'm not back.
No.
I'm just saying.
That's the last time I heard, but now
I remember.
you're tapped back
I'm
in.
not back. I'm not
Hey,
tapping. Well,
you-
I don't.
you
the
and the
thing is,
rest
I
of
don't
the
even
world,
know
I
how to
think.
follow them if I wanted to,
Yeah.
because I mean, I don't have the TV that shows to get
Also
every
facts.
game. You know what I'm saying?
We
And,
getting TNT games too. So
Yeah, I don't
hopefully-
think I would want to invest in getting some kind of cable or something just so I can see the Rockets.
Right.
Put it that way. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
respectful. But now you should tap in is what I'm saying. You know, but
Who's their top player now? Who's their top players? Houston Rockets. Yeah.
top players.
Calvin Murphy. That's the last time they've been good. Shout out Calvin Murphy with all
Shout-
them
shout out
wild
to
ass
Jet. Shout
motherfucking
out to
suits and
Jet.
shit.
Yeah. But it's really a slew of a few people, right? We got a Sengun
Is that the center?
center. and
Who's the
Sengun.
guy at the forward?
At the forward? Hurt currently Jabari Smith. So right now,
You saying he's hurt currently?
yeah, at the moment.
Because you
But-
know the guy in Philly name is what, Hurts or something, right? That's why I was thinking,
Hurt.
is that a name or are you saying?
Yeah.
But anyway, so
I don't
he's
know who
hurt.
that is. But yeah, he's injured currently, but it's stepped up on Amin Thompson role.
Who?
Amin Thompson
Okay, and so give me a guy that's controlling shit at guard.
at guard. Fred VanVleet, the vet. You gotta
Okay,
have, you gotta have
okay.
one
I
of
like
them.
him.
You gotta
But
have
I'm
one
gonna
of
tell
them.
you what's fresh in my mind on Fred VanVleet, and
Is
I
it
I
Raptors
kind of tend to
championship?
watch the highlights.
Yeah.
And I think it must have been Wednesday or Thursday. He had a chance to win that game. He had the last
okay.
shot. I just saw it on
Early one.
ESPN.
Ouch. Okay,
I
yes.
just saw it on. That's since you mentioned his name.
Definitely.
And but he's nice though. He's nice. He got game. Yeah.
That
So
is
I would
very-
like him at a guard. Who's over
Slap
there?
to the face.
Who's over there with
yeah.
him at the other side on the guard?
Jalen Green.
Now that dude. See, I'm an old head man, but I keep up with shit. That's the dude who married. He got a cougar or something like that, right?
And yep.
And this got a pregnant pretty soon, not too long ago, right?
Pretty sure she's
I
impregnated.
be watching that shit, man.
Yeah.
Jalen Green.
Tap
But
in a little
see,
bit.
I wouldn't have known anything about that until I heard the name. And I wouldn't have even known what team he was on and shit like that. But I go by name sometimes when I hear, especially shit that's kind of out of the ordinary.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? He said, I can't fuck with no baby mama. I need a mama.
A mama, take
Shit.
care of me, baby.
Shit. You manage just him.
And he just hooping. Which, yeah, it's a good year going. But did I even ask you my question?
No, I stopped
no,
you,
you
man,
asked me-
because I
asked
was
me how it
asking you
was.
a
And look,
mentality
we-
type check.
We end up start talking Rockets.
So, yo, on the mentality
Thank you,
check,
my
we got to
man.
check and we'll move on. Go ahead. What was your question? You remember it? Go ahead.
Yeah, my question, because we went down that nostalgic walk, I appreciated that. A little Brooklyn stroll. I feel like I went to
Shout out
the
to Punchbowl Brooklyn.
bakery, went to the pizzeria.
Shout
we
out
got
to
the
Handball
candy
Brooklyn.
store. I might get a Kanish. Kanish. Thank you. But back then, did you have, or now, a favorite holiday?
Shit, mine by far was a cross between Thanksgiving and Christmas.
Oh, that's
You know,
out. Yeah,
when we
that-
was coming up,
that
man, that
holiday.
was the deal. That's when it started. You know
Uh-huh.
what I'm saying? It started when you started Thanksgiving. And as a kid, I never really paid attention to the in-between of where Thanksgiving stopped and when Christmas started. I just looked at it as all one season. Because between those days, you had kind of like sporadic school. And then at one point, we would get out for 10 days, leading up to Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
And then we wouldn't go back until after, of course, the New Year. So it was a good little stretch. And, man, that was the most joyous times, man. Oh, man, because Thanksgiving,
Good times.
man, see, the people from New York, a lot of them, if not all of them, came up from somewhere. Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, all of that. We wasn't, you know what I'm saying? We wasn't born, well, we were born up there, but the people before us, they weren't born up there. They came up. You know what I'm saying? So not everybody necessarily came up. So when it was Thanksgiving,
you didn't know who was gonna be there, kind of.
No, everybody's family was that you had to, you made your way to your family to have that.
Absolutely.
So you saw people you didn't see in a long time, but you could look forward to that happening every holiday. You know what I'm saying? It was a different thing than now. Now it's like, hey, I'll come maybe or not.
We getting
Fix
that
me
back.
a plate. They
We
come in
getting
and
that back.
leave and shit like. It was a total different feel, man. Total different feel. So yeah, but anyway, yeah.
How we get that started back, bro? I feel like that's what's missing right now.
Family is gone, man. Family is gone.
No such thing. I feel
This is a thing too, right? The people nowadays, they have more diverse lifestyles. So when you have people in your family and their lifestyle is not like yours, a lot of times you don't want to be around them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so that's what happens nowadays. It's like that because, you know, you don't want people, as they say, judging you. You know what I mean? Families used to be more conservative to me, and so you didn't have to worry about that much. The main thing you might have had to worry about is I don't have a job. You know what I'm saying? I smoke too much or drink too much. That's okay because we already know why you went outside. You know what I'm saying? But it's cool. But nowadays you got all kinds of different issues that divide families. And nowadays people, back in the day, let me say this, man, for black people.
Yeah. Tell us.
Never talked about politics because we wasn't fucked up about none of that. And then there wasn't all of these news people pushing all of that type of shit. So your family was never divided on politics.
Yeah.
Right? Which is one of the main things that can divide families nowadays. You a Democrat, I'm a Republican, how we think and all. Niggas didn't do that before. Nobody was thinking about no politics because everybody was chasing after the same thing, which was shit. Just to have some freedom in your life, which is by me, mainly for black men especially, finding a job. Just literally finding a job. So, you know, nobody was messed up about no politics and all this different things that politics brings nowadays, different genders. See, right now, your family could still be relatively conservative and you may be down with the LB, blah, 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 right? That's friction, right? So, hey, I'm not even going to the family gathering. You know, that type of shit. So, it ain't.
It might be one of the biggest divides then, huh?
Could be. I mean, that lifestyle has changed a lot. And not everybody.
Or not that specifically. I was referencing politics, but
different kinds of politics, and to talk about them and to be divisive on them.
Yeah,
you know, and you know that's a part of what they were talking about the media, how big it's grown and how really important it has become in people's lives. You know, whether it's bullshit media you listen to, you look at and whatever, or that shit they call that mainstream politics. Some way they're gonna have you divided unless you're a free thinker.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I would say that the family, I don't see the family really being tight again. Because if people are not paying attention, you're watching a major evolution about the whole institution of marriage. You know what I'm saying? And again, you got certain people that go with these different kind of other things. And then just the institution of marriage between like the heterosexual is taking on different roles. And so until it really gets stabilized, if it ever does, families, man, are crazy. And then I tell you, man,
Indeed.
I swear, and I mean, it is what it is. I never thought I would see two men getting married, man. And I don't mean to be flippant about that or anything, but I never thought I would see the day of that shit, man. Two men and one man getting down on his knee proposing to. So we're living in different times, you know what I mean?
Different times.
So if you got two men, honestly, in real life, the family stops right there. You know what I'm saying? So that whole, again, nostalgic Thanksgiving you have, everybody comes and blah, blah. That's fine, but it's just different now, you know? If you come, that's your brother. They got adopted kids, 2 white kids, they black. He's this, he's that. I don't know, man. To me, that drives people away when you got all these different kind of things.
They would say it's still family.
But listen, and I'm glad you said that because I would say that some people would say that's all love, right? But I just always deal with bottom line thinking and ask then, if that's all love, then why do we have these things that's dividing people? There are places that some homosexuals should feel like they know it. I wouldn't really want to be caught there and people know that I'm gay. But that's the way it's been, for instance, to be black, to be...
What place would that be probably? Or would you say?
It would be a lot of conservative places, some of the same places we wouldn't want to be caught being black. And I hate that there are places like that, but the point I'm making is there are places that are conservative. There are people that don't think like you. You know what I'm saying? And you got to realize that no matter what the majority of the people say, oh, everything's great, everything should be love. Why right now would people want to say, like we said in the last episode, that I want to cut these people's jobs? Everything is all love. You know what I'm saying? Why would people, all of the dastardly things that happen? And I keep saying, if it's all love, why do you have to keep protecting your kids so closely in America? When you start messing with kids, and the last time we were talking about The Godfather. It used to be a rule, man, from everything I've ever seen amongst all of that, man, is that kids are off limits, man. You don't fuck with kids. So that's a major change in things too, man, in the society. Because when you talk about things, about nostalgia with me, man, and I get emotional about that, man. It's because things were free, right? And we were talking about phones and people, not being able to get off their phones. Parents didn't have to worry about being in touch with their kids every 5 minutes. No one was thinking my kid's gonna get kidnapped from walking from school. And they used to want their kids to walk. We used to walk from school, like 8 blocks or whatever it was. No parent was ever, and you had what you call latchkey kids. That means you got a motherfucking key around your neck with a chain. You go home and do that shit to you and do everything you're supposed to do till your moms come home. Nobody's watching you. You 8, 9 years old, even earlier than you a latchkey kid is what they called it.
Wow.
I mean, in technical terms, but you had the fucking key. You come home and let yourself in. You, your brothers, sisters, whatever. Go up there and eat your fucking snack like you're supposed to. Start your homework. Do all that shit. Nobody thought somebody was gonna kidnap their kid. The fuck?
Crazy,
anything
man.
in the society kids could be free to do. Once your society does not allow that, your society is dead. It's crazy shit that's happening over here, and everybody's walking around
That's
like,
a
oh,
fact.
ain't nothing motherfucking happening. This society is on such demise, starving kids and shit like that. Even motherfuckers, when I was coming along, nobody starved. You might not have had that much, and that shit didn't last that long, but even if you had to stand on the line like people did and get what they call commodities, you had some shit to eat.
What were the commodities?
Peanut butter, cheese, regular butter. I think they used to do rice. Just staple items. I think in some places they used to do eggs even, but used to be getting powdered eggs in some places, but different type of staple items like that. And people did still not eat all the time, but for the most part, you were able to eat something. And it was no McDonald's, none of that. McDonald's, which started to exist after a while in the 70s, and I think they might have started in the late 60s. But anytime you ate that, shout out to Benson Burger. If you're East New York, you know Benson Burger.
Benson!
But you only did that if your mom had it, and only on a Saturday. Never any other day of the week. Never. But anyway, it's so many things, man, that has changed since then. And I just want to reiterate to people, if your kids cannot feel free, and there's a lot of kids that based on the stories and all of that they've heard, they're on alert, even if they have, and oh, Lord. This shit really blows me away when I have to talk about this, man.
Whoa. What happened there?
Do you realize how crazy of a society you have to be? And I don't care who's doing it, but how crazy of a society you have to be when not only do you send your kid to school, but now you have to be on alert that someone may come in and shoot up the place. that is another thing that your society is dead. Your kids nowadays, they may hear another student. They may hear his book drop on the floor. Every one of them might hit the floor for cover. Huh? You got a society like that, brother, there's something really, really wrong. Huh? So not only did we not have to worry about somebody, kidnapping us, trying to molest us. Now the molesting came at home, but I'll get back to that some other video probably. But as far as people outside, you didn't have to worry about that. And
Crazy.
the last thing you had to think about
then
was
once you
someone
get
shooting
there,
up the whole school.
She's so wrong.
Oh my goodness! Send another Moses job.
Oh my gosh! Hey, this is old school, new school.
Oh my God!
It's UNDE. It's OG Lee. We're gonna take a little woo side, but we got a PSA announcement, right?
What's that?
Cause old school, new school, we get together, we check out footage, we talk about things. I'm calling out Poppy G in this situation, and myself in general as far as being on our phone sometimes too much, and maybe in a how could I say, an intimate, if you will, situation. So old school, new school, we're going with a policy: no phoneage over a 5-second lapse on the phone. We got a new little implementation coming, bro.
What now?
We have, if one is on said phone for more than a 5 to 10 second span, we're gonna have an old school, new school penalty that's getting implemented, bro. For guests and current people on pod.
Okay, all right.
You know what I mean? So
right.
PSA.
But look, man, if I should ever get on my phone, man, this has got to be like the real world. I don't get penalized, man. Only other people.
Only other people?
Only other people, man.
Nah, man.
Only
man.
Hey,
We gonna stir a little something in there.
You gotta have some kind of privilege, man.
We
Speaking of privilege, man.
Oligarchy.
Speaking of privilege, something just popped into my head. You want me to do it now, or should we wait?
We about to wait because we about to take us a little woos out.
You
OG
sure?
Lee, you in the East.
All right.
Like, comment, subscribe. We gonna be right back. And we
equal
are
opportunity.
back.
Back up on the scene.
Filled up our flask, our glass
of life,
and we back.
I need a flask though, really.
Yeah, gotta get a cool one. We definitely gotta get.
That
We gotta
should
get
be cool,
some
yeah.
old school, new school
You
flasks.
sneaking in places and you want to drink, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to Apple Juice.
It's like for the quaint alcoholic, you know. But before we were
Everything
going out,
is everything. What? Before we was going out, you was telling them to subscribe?
Subscribe, like, comment, subscribe.
What was you telling them about hit a notification bell? What happens if they hit the notification bell?
Hit the bell. Then once they hit that notification bell, they might, once we drop a video, it kind of sends you something letting you know, hey, old school, new school.
Oh, so if they press the notification bell, whenever we come out with an episode, it lets them know?
Yeah.
What, in their email, or how's it let them know?
I think it just pops up on the phone, bloop, drops down like a YouTube notification type of deal.
So I send it to quite a bit of people. I think what they do is they look at it, they go, "Oh shit,
here we go,
school, new school shit, man." I don't
these guys,
that shit, bro, that shit is boring. That shit is full of shit, man. But anyway, it is what it is. I feel good. I feel really, really relaxed most of the time when I can just chill and tell a little story or two. Talk to you, my man, with the good smile, shining bright. Your eyes are so shining bright.
That's what I'm here. No, but before we were about to go out, before our break, you were about to, you said you had a secret or a treat or something for me, you said.
Oh, no, this is not a treat, man. This is just a little story I want to tell.
Oh, a story, you said. Okay, that could be a treat. But maybe
and this goes back to 1989. It's dating me, but I'm just going to tell you. In 1989, spring semester, I'm in college, 1989. I'm a senior, spring semester. And I'm getting ready to graduate that following fall semester of 1989.
From?
UALR. University of
Trojans!
Arkansas at Little Rock.
Show toes. Hey.
Trojans.
Uh-huh.
Real quick story on Trojan. That's a trip because when we were coming up, they would always tell you to keep a Trojan in your pocket. And so at some point, I went to the school and their name was the Trojans. I was like, oh, okay.
Classic.
Just gave me a flashback.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, so I'm getting ready to graduate December 1989. And so it's the spring semester. I go into the student union, and up on the board, I see this post for an internship. So I go, I do the internship, or I look into it. I get with the guy, and I get the application and all that. It wasn't online and all that stuff, of course. So I do all the physical stuff, get the application, fill it out. I get the interview for the internship. I go to the interview, I do well. They invite me back for a second interview. I do well. So I get the internship. It was for 2 months that summer, 1989. I go, I do the internship. So I'm about a week into the internship. I've been learning how to do, this was with an insurance company, by the way. So I'm learning how to do all the administration that has to do with the claim representative's job. So a week into it, the lady who was doing that function, who was showing me how to do it, training me, she goes on vacation for 3 weeks. So they're asking who is going to do that while she's on vacation. So I said, I think I could do it. So I do it. She comes back. I still get trained some more, do some more. I do that for the 2 months. But before I do it, one of the guys comes to me and he says, hey, look, when you graduate, if you're interested in a job, we got you. I'm going to stay in touch with you. So I'm thinking, oh, good, man. I graduate and I got a job. I didn't lead him on to that. I was making it seem like, shit, I can get a job anywhere. Shit, you know what I'm saying? I might come back here. That type of shit.
Yeah, I might.
But anyway,
I'll think about it. Thank you for the proposal.
I go back to school in that fall semester, and about 2 months later, October, I get a letter or a phone call or whatever it was. And it was saying, hey, we're very much interested. Seriously, if you want to do it, we're still interested. Start filling out this kind of paperwork and blah, blah, blah. So that, once you graduate, you can go the next week or so, hit the ground running with us. Mm-hmm. Beautiful thing. I take them up on the offer ultimately. Graduate, I go to work for the company. Do well. Beautiful company, benefits, all that, good job. One of them good jobs.
State Farm.
Say that again.
State Farm.
Man, that's who gave me an opportunity. State Farm Insurance. But this is what I want to say. Mm-hmm. This was 1989. The first year that State Farm had a minority internship program. First year, 1989. The first year in this region anyway. Mm-hmm. So, what I want to say is, many times when you give someone an opportunity to get in the door to show you what they can do, you'll be surprised that they're just like anyone else of any color. Mm-hmm. But sometimes when you have people that don't think that way, they don't let them in. So that's what diversity, equity, and inclusion, some of it, that's what it's about. Let people in to show you they have the opportunity to do the same thing as you, right? And that's not what people want to do, see? Because there are a lot of times you can do things once you're shown that. And a good example is anyone will tell you if they've been in the military. Good example is the military. You walk in the door, they start showing you what to do and expect you to do it. I don't care what you did outside. You might be a medic. Hell, we starting to show you how to sew people up. You've been in the game 2 weeks, right? You didn't have to get nothing special. Outside here you might have, and they might have stopped you by all of these different blockades they put in the way of you succeeding. You get in there. That's why a lot of black people will tell you they like the military. That's one of the most egalitarian systems we have. If that's the right word, meaning it's just equal. You know what I'm saying? I tried to throw some shit in there that I heard from somewhere. You know what I'm saying?
I like
But word, but whatever word means that it's relatively equal system that is meritorious.
Egalitarian.
You know what I'm saying?
I'll look it up.
But the idea is you got to let them in to show the merit. That's the whole thing.
Meritocracy. You hit me with that. Come on.
That's the whole thing that we're talking about when you talk about the military in itself. Because remember, there used to be a time when they didn't have it, where they let people like blacks in the military. Then when they took the next step, they let them in, but we had our own shit off to the side. Then they finally integrated it. That was one of the first institutions in America that integrated. See? And then when brothers came out of the military and the banks start getting around and they start lending, that shit started getting into America. They started also lending money to the black people that were in the military, that were coming out, that were vets. That's how the black people first started coming up. So you need government. You got to include people in this government. These people trying to put people out. And that's great if they're saying, let's not put niggas in or any other people in where it requires that you really be highly trained on something. We don't want to do that. But you want to include people in where they could see something that whoever's been doing it for the longest, hey, that ain't rocket science. We could do that. Anyone can do that too, right? Even if it's something that is high level. But look, I done been through the schools and this and that. So, and that truly is what meritocracy is. But you do have to have the mindset that says, hey, let me see what these people can do. Sometimes it means me doing things that give people a priority just so they can get in. Just so they can get in and get their feet wet. And let me just say this. If you ever watch a football game and think about, keep in your mind internships, because that's all an internship is, letting somebody get their feet in the door, right? To see what they could do. Then it may be a match made in heaven. They like you, you like them. Boom, right? You look at a football game, and you look up in the stands. I don't know how many black people you ever seen with their shirts off with these, it's freezing sometimes too. They got these letters on them and they all spell shit and everybody's in the crowd, right? You saw that, right? When's the last time you seen those Division I games and like that? You look up in the crowd and you saw black people.
Oh no, that you don't see that. With the shirts off for sure.
Just know, in general, when you see the whole backdrop of the crowd, it ain't black people. Yeah. Those are students, a lot of them. Yeah. Think about how many colleges and universities be packed like that with what kind of students, right? We didn't develop internships. They did. So who you think are going to all of the internships? It damn sure ain't us. We might get a few, but who you think the internships were made for? That's diversity. That's equity. That's inclusion. Because you don't know that where they came from. All you know is that they look like you. You look at their GPA or whatever it is and say, hey, this person right here, we could give them an internship to see what? See what they're made of. Anyway, I'm off my soapbox for today, but that's what I want these DEI people to think about.
So what, you're saying it already exists, basically?
What, DEI?
Yeah.
DEI has been existing for a while, especially during all of the Democratic administrations.
I see.
It's more than just letting people have jobs. Part of the diversity, I'll just say DEI, is letting small businesses in. In other words, if you're a minority, we want to consider, as if you ever watch Master P and him having trouble with stores putting stuff on his stuff on their shelves, right? So some of DEI is that, saying, hey, we want you, and this is the government saying this, we want you, for instance, to have 2% of minority products on your shelves, right? Now, first of all, if the government has to say that, we know that there's a problem. The people who like that, they're going to say, hey, it's the free market. Yeah. Well, how it can be a free market if you don't let my man get in? Man. You know what I mean? Not that you have to, which is what they're saying, but this is what DEI is saying. Yo, let me get a play. Give me a little play, man. That's what I'm asking. Give me a little play. Let me show you what I can do. You know what I'm saying? And this is the thing I'll say, really, and toot my own horn. When I did that internship, right, it was on the back of my mind that I had to do good because I was the first one, right? So
the very first one?
Yeah, I was. And then there was one girl, shout out to Sharon, on the North Little Rock side. Both of us were selected ultimately. And she was outstanding, I was outstanding. We were 1989 niggas. You know what I'm saying? So we still was thinking about a pride thing. And remember, that's just 1989 when they were doing the first. First, 1989. So what's that, 11, 24, 35 years ago? No, 36 years ago, right? Something like that.
Just got
So,
25.
Hey, we still got a long ways to go. But DEI people, just think about that. You don't have to hire every nigga that comes through the door. You're gonna vet them. That's the way we do shit, right? Vet him. If he qualifies, let him in the door, give him some play. That's all we asking. Hey, give me a little play.
1989. Hey, let me play. Let me get a little play right here, man.
Little something.
Let me eat a little bit with you.
And listen, this is another thing I'm gonna say about DEI. As I was saying on the other episode, once I got in, but although I had done it in the military, so I'm glad they did EEI a long time ago. And I just refer to them as white boys. I won't. And they know it's not racist or anything like that. I don't know what they call us.
Alphabet boy.
But if I was talking amongst ourselves, I'm always trying to be honest, but I would say, yo, I met some cool white boys. You know what I'm saying? And I did. And so when white boys will say, whether they're talking about me or other brothers, yo, I met some cool black guys or whatever it is they say. From what? Being included. Then they'll say too, I met some white black dudes, some assholes. Always want to fight and steal shit or whatever. My roommate used to always steal, blah, blah, whatever. I don't know, you know what I'm saying? But they didn't have the greatest experience with every black person. Just like we haven't for sure had the greatest experience with every white person. But when you start that inclusion, and this is funny that I'm thinking about this now, man. Because, and I started to say, when you start that inclusion, because when you start the inclusion, one of the first things that happens is there starts to be sex between the races. That's something you cannot stop. It just comes to that, draws to that. At least once a brother realizes he won't go to jail or get killed for the shit. You know what I'm saying? And so that's an interesting dynamic too, to see what gets created from that. So this whole inclusion thing, man, the crazy shit goes through my mind as I'm talking, right?
Yeah.
But
that's what old school, new school is here for, man.
The same inclusion thing,
Yeah.
And then it pops in my mind, nigga, that's what they don't want. That's the hardest thing they fighting against is you being included and you taking their women or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Or not just say taking them, but their women agreeing that, hey, I don't mind being in a relationship with an essay or being in a relationship with a brother, whatever. So now that this flashed in my mind, nigga, stop talking about this thing. These people that you dealing with, they don't want that. They're trying to fight against that. And the last thing they want to do is spend their tax-paying money on you. So the last thing they want to do, I guess, is take your jobs and take the tax-paying money for themselves. And most people will say, man, no. But this is the last thing I'm going to say on this and end on that.
Yeah.
And that is that this is done real subtly, right? Where a person could be telling you that, you know, they're lowering your taxes or something like that, right? But at the same time, if you start putting tariffs on this country or whatever, ultimately it has to. The business is not going to take a loss. That's not why we're in business. So we got to pass this on to somebody. Yeah. So it's yet to see if it'll come to us, right? But if it does, that's the tax that you took away from. That's the tax you took away from me. Now that I gotta pay more for the shit, so that's not really helping me, right? Or if you say that, some of your money, because you got a lot, and you got people in office now that says that, they make a policy that you don't have to get taxed as much on your money, right? That really is a tax to us that we're not seeing, right? Because if they don't have to pay as much, it's got to come down because somebody got to pay.
Somebody.
Right? Now, and this is going to be, I'm getting off of this, but I'm going to transition to this right quick. When I say that somebody's got to pay, right?
Every time.
And one thing that anybody realizes, but especially people with degrees and people who actually even have to look at this, one of the things that we have, and I'm just going to be blunt about it, one of the things that we have, and I may be one of them. I don't think so, but I may be one of them. One of the things we have in America and everywhere, are dumb people. Dumb people. And I don't mean that in any negative way, but I want to be blunt about it to say that. You can look at people, we have them everywhere. They are dumb. They don't know how to take care of themselves. I mean, literally, don't you see all these different kind of facilities we have? There are people, and I talked about that, and I said it's another episode in the first part when I talked about molestation, at home. We don't see every case, but there has always been people who molest, weaker people in their families. Some of them, you look around, they're 13, 14, they're pregnant. Some of those kids, and it's not just from incest, but just in general, there are a lot of kids, man, their elevators don't go all the way to the top. I'm being blunt. They will never be able to take care of themselves, a lot of the people that we have in our society. There's a lot of people, they are manic. There are a lot of people, bipolar. A lot of these people, they might be able to take care of themselves with somebody's help. And it's usually like government programs or all of this stuff. Somebody's got to pay for that. You always got to realize whether you call them dumb. We used to call some of the people retarded. Now they call them this challenge. Even if you give them one of these letters, ADHD, then you got to give them whatever degree. But a lot of them, no matter what your diagnosis, they will never be able to take care of themselves as functioning adults. So somebody always has to pay something. And if you keep looking around and seeing that more and more policies are favoring people who have money, and as I said, I'm not mad at them. If I'm in office, I'm not giving you anything either. I might go to church and talk all that. I'm not giving you shit either, really, not on a major basis, right? I might, do some contribution to something and this and that. And then what do people say? That's tax deductible. You see what I'm saying? So this is a game with all of this shit.
Handles
you know what
all
I'm
of
saying?
that.
You got to be from your spirit saying, look, and this is the problem. This is the problem. It used to be a little bit that people used to say, hey, this is America. I'm willing to go fight for her. Man, I'm willing to do whatever for my country. This is America. I'm willing to pay my fair share of taxes because that's what makes America go round. Nowadays, everybody's railing against that. Why?
Chill out.
The first thing they're going to say is,
don't text me.
I don't feel like I'm an American anymore. If I give my monies to, and this is, of course, we don't know how it really goes, but this is what we hear over the airwaves, right? So if I give my money to the government, like I say I would maybe give tithes to the church, they gonna just squander my money. Look at what they did with the people, those immigrants that came into Chicago. They were putting them up in hotels, and look at the immigrants in New York. Look at the border, all of these things, they're wasting our money, right? So that's everybody's narrative, right? So nobody wants to feel like a full-fledged American again. And that's why sometimes, to be honest, when the mood really gets like that, they start a war. So that's the one thing that could bond Americans. But a lot of times, right, before they do shit like that, and even sometimes once they do it, because sometimes we're in wars and we don't even realize we're in them, like the Afghanistan war, right? But it's important, man, to realize that, man, we in America, nobody has that American patriotic type feeling anymore. So they're like, I don't want to give my money to the government. So what ends up happening, man, people try to, as they say, evade taxes, but they do it legally because they say, hey, they set up a policy for me to be able to do this and do this and do that. You have some countries, and if you ever travel to them, you'll see their tax code is that. You know why?
What's that, Dad, you say?
It's a flat tax. That's what their tax system is. Our tax system is like this thick, and what? You got to be someone, you got to hire someone, right? If you really moving and shaking, you got to hire someone to shield your money from the government. That's why the tax code is that big, right? It takes a tax attorney to go through and really, really get you when you're dealing with the millions, right? To really make it advantageous for you, right? Some countries, flat tax, everybody pays 10%. Why isn't it not like that? I would think that you want that so that you could evade, so that you don't have to pay your fair share of taxes, right? So how can your country ever be made great again when really the idea is for the people at the top, make America great again, is to stop us having to pay all of this stuff that helps people survive and live as human beings.
Mm-hmm.
So we have a major problem in this country in that people think that America could be made great again, yet most people don't give a shit about no one else but themselves.
Man.
So how the fuck can America be made great again?
Man.
Unbelievable.
Come on, old school, man.
And I would like to give America, some kudos.
Mm-hmm.
But listen.
For what?
This is what I'm saying.
Well,
I would like to. But in terms of the whole social dynamic, right? If Dr. Martin Luther King got killed in 1964, right? So that's 36 and then what? 35. 71 years ago?
36,
Is it
35,
71 years ago?
71.
Shit. Wow. So it's almost pretty soon, at this rate, going to be coming up on a century.
Close to 29.
And you still have people that represent the government trying to keep, no, I don't care what you disguise it as. DEI, you trying to take away. I don't care what you say it's in the name of. The bottom line is there's still friction between people who represent the government being of one race having a hard on for black people.
Mm-hmm.
Because really, when you really talk about DEI, I doubt that there's a whole bunch of Mexicans that they're talking about. I doubt that there's a whole bunch of Chinese. I doubt that there's a whole bunch of other whatever.
Yeah.
Most of the time, racial issues in America have always historically been black and white. So just watch for cold words. And white people, all we asking for is a little play. This is the deal.
Just a little
They
something.
got a lot of people. We got 300 million Americans, right?
Mm-hmm.
They have a lot of people in numbers. So it's only going to stand the reason that I'll give it to you. You're going to have a lot of geniuses within those numbers.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to have a lot of able people, a lot of people who know how to do carpentry, a lot of people who know how to be electricians, plumbers. Pass that shit on or God is going to, I'm telling you, pass it on. Don't go to your grave with all of this in your head and in your hands without passing it on, no matter what color.
Mm-hmm.
You understand?
You got to do it.
You don't.
You got to give it up, man. You can't sit
Anyway.
with that. How does it change?
That just blew my mind, man, because that's the deal, right? You got people, man, all they doing is just saying, look, give me a play. Let me in. So 71 years later, if that's still the issue, you know what I mean? It's like, please, DEI, let them in, man. And just like I said, all of those aforementioned trades, when you go into a place like the military, man, you just do whatever. It doesn't matter what kind of degrees and shit like that. We're going to be fighting together, right? If I'm dying on the battlefield, which is what we're really doing out here, you mean to tell me you want to see what race I am as a medic and your ass is bleeding?
Don't matter about that thing.
Anyway, it's like, and God, rest in peace, Rodney King. He had a question. I wish we could put it in right here. Can we all get along? That's the question.
Can't we
That's the
all
question.
get along? Can't we all get
That's
along?
it, man.
Come on. Come on.
We free. We free. Thank God Almighty. We free.
Come on. It's old school, new school, man. We get turned up. We chill out. We get random as hell sometimes. But that bell right there, hey, it indicates a good
We
old
talking about this
my crusher.
random shit, bro. It ain't random. Shit is real, man.
No, hey, I might bring up something random like this,
Oh,
bro.
I do random shit all the time, as you well know.
The title of this random when we bring it in.
Oh my
after
God.
Our DEI
Shout out
soapbox.
Tommy Rodriguez.
Paper and Skittles.
Shout out
What's the most
Poppy G, shout out. He said he watches us, man.
What's the most illegal thing
Oh my God.
you could do with a piece of paper and a bag of Skittles?
Yo. Just those two?
Piece of paper, bag of Skittles. How dangerous can you get?
It really depends on where you at, man. Cause I'm gonna go down to the CO's
Okay, we're in prison. Gotcha.
I'm gonna go down to the CO's desk and I'm gonna steal a pencil.
Mm-hmm.
Then this dude over here that I want got, I'm gonna write on a kite. I mean, it's the kite, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna get that kite to my man to communicate that I want my man offed, right? And I'm gonna convince him
To do it.
to do it with a bag of Skittles.
Come on. Okay, so you're gonna coordinate the murder.
No, I don't want them murdered. I just want them roughed up a little bit.
Okay, so we'll say an assault.
So yeah, man, really, just a piece of paper could serve as a kite. And maybe not that drastic. You might convince him to maybe wash your drawers or some shit like that. Bag of Skittles. I don't know.
Bag of Skittles. Sounds a little fruity. But
Yeah.
I like the idea. So you can make an assault happen.
Have you ever seen a kite, man?
No,
And a kite is an amazing thing. I couldn't even fuck with it now because my eyes wouldn't even be able to see that shit. You got these dudes, they so crafty with them kites, man. They writing that shit in letters so motherfucking small, man. It's unbelievable to watch that. Yeah.
Itty bitty teeny tiny. You write a whole book on this bad boy.
Yeah, that's how they. The matter of fact, a lot of times that's how they used to. I don't know about now. Motherfuckers, they let them do email now. I heard in prison, so they might be able to do something like that. But no, they wouldn't do that because it's the whole idea is to evade, the officers. So they probably still do use kites, but it's chill how they do it, man. Because little fucking letters
They're doing FaceTimes nowadays.
No, I'm sure they still use kites, man.
For sure.
Because it's hard to track that. Much easier when you're using these electronic devices and shit like that to track people. By the way, man, we talked about the murders, and they had to really come out with that. You know, the mayor, man, because there was 4 murders in as many days in Little Rock.
4 and 4 and 4?
Yeah, and they found out one of these kids, man, they were saying, it's not 100% verified, but one of the kids who really did the carjacking or whatever it was, where the I think 50-year-old lady or 47-year-old lady was murdered.
With the kids?
The murder, they said this guy is floating around, and he was the son of one of those doctors up at the local hospital.
Oh.
Yes.
At UAMS?
At UAMS, yeah.
Oh.
So, yeah, that's what I wonder what the motivation behind that is. You know, he
He
didn't
just
look
trying
like
to
he
be
was strung out on
gang.
no crack shit. That's what it looked like, because he had a couple of tattoos on his face or whatever. And if they wouldn't have said, and of course we stereotype, so if they wouldn't have said that about his doctor, that his father being that doctor with that, and his first name is, I promise you, it's at least 12 or 14 letters, and then his last name. So when you look
Salam.
at it, yeah, once they did, before they said that, if you would just look at the kid, you're gonna say that that's Jose. You know what I'm saying? Because they had that same kind of complexion in the hair and all that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that was something. And then another one was another guy who you never would have thought, a young man, and they kept all of that out, sealing it, of course, because of his age. But yeah, man, it just was a rash in the city all of a sudden as the month was going out.
Yeah, I hate that, man.
And what we want to do the next time, I want to do this next time
Paints a
or two,
negative
is I
light.
really want to talk about suicide, man, because people really are talking about people being neglected, especially males.
Mm-hmm.
Because the whole thing of you don't want to really come out with this and that, and before you know it, you lead into a suicide. So I want to look at the suicide rates, man, and just see about that and try to think about some reasons why that could be happening in the greatest country in the world.
The greatest one. Sad times and finances get to people, man.
And I don't know that it's just that. That's why I really would be interested, man, to see what it is that would make a person go to that length,
That is a length, bro. That is a length indeed. But
go ahead.
No, say
Anyway, go ahead.
No. Anyway, this we got a good old mental health check in because this is old school, new school. We got our mind crusher in.
We do,
because you could coordinate an assault with a piece of paper and a bag of Skittles.
Hey, flip that, man. Flip that. What would you do with that? The paper and the Skittles.
Okay, me. It's kind of hard not to steal your idea. So me, I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna use.
Man, you're gonna go sit down somewhere and eat the Skittles.
Yeah, I'm definitely. but I gotta get illegal, bro. Yeah, there's nothing legal about eating some Skittles. I guess I'm gonna assault's probably as good as I can get, but I'll probably just throw some Skittles into the eyes, leave a note on the car, and
man,
handful of Skittles.
It's some stories I could tell, right? But it's so sad that I don't know anyone still alive to back it up that would be able to say, yeah, that happened. So it would just seem like a lie. Just thought about some shit when you were talking about Skittles and throwing them or whatever, but crazy shit that, I did. I think about that now. As you get older, a lot of times there's no one around to verify your stories, man. And then at that point,
tell that thing though. Nobody care about that.
We'll get to that at some other point.
That's
but yeah, that does happen though. It's like, well, if I say that, hey, listen, man, you lying. I'm like, oh shit, I don't know too many people alive, man, that can even verify that shit.
That's what we're here for. We
verify.
We gotta get that in. But
let me say this too, real quick.
Say that. Man.
Since I mentioned the word verified.
Verification.
And I think I said this before, if I might have. But anyway, from 1980 to 1988, since we're talking about all of this Trump and all of that, every Republican who comes along is going to try to do things to pattern himself after one Ronald Reagan. To them, he was one of the best presidents to have ever graced the face of the earth, Ronald Reagan. And one of the things Ronald Reagan said that really gives people an out on things, right? If you don't want to offend people, you just tell them, like Ronald Reagan coined, trust but verify. See, they can't be mad at you. Hey, I trust you. I know you told me you only had one conviction. Sure. I know you told me you only had one conviction. You just wrote down on it. You just had one conviction. Now trust, but I verify. You know what I'm saying? Trust, but verify. Yes, that's some of that current events that they used to make us study in school. You used to have to go and cut out a picture, paste it on the thing, and write something about it. That's why I remember.
I did that.
I remember certain parts of my history like that. Shout out newspapers. Shout out newspapers. But yeah, Ronald Reagan, trust, but verify. Add that to your bag.
Add that to your bag. And speaking of, I went through our checklist. We got our mental health check-in, got our mind crusher. That brought to me there that good old word of the day. Something to put in your bag, man.
Word of the day.
We still on our figures of speech.
Word of the day.
Still an event March 22nd. But the word of today is hyperbole.
Hyperbole.
Now, hyperbole.
I heard that used, but I don't want to do like I did earlier. You know what I'm saying? And use it in the wrong way. But that's the thing about being smarter than other people. You can use shit in the wrong way, and they'd be like, "Yo, man, that motherfucker, he
threw something in there."
Then the people who know that, they be like, "Damn, what did he say? What? That is one dumb." Go ahead,
But hyperbole simply describe a figure of speech in which exaggeration is used for emphasis or effect.
Man, I would say that would have to be me with expletives. It's all hyperbole.
So some literal examples. Battle rap. You could get into a deep bag. There was I got a
Listen,
gun
man,
so big.
Do you think you got anything in the bag that you could flow with like right off the top? Because I'm telling you, a couple of people told me, "Oh yeah, he got a little flow or whatever." So you think you could do something like right now if you had to do something and it just had to be the one bar, just you know what I'm saying? Just are you able to flow off the top?
I could give you something off the top, man.
You don't have to, like, no pressure.
My off the top would be, if you cool with me, come school with me. It's old school, new school, OG Lee, and UNDE. Bars. Straight like that, bro.
Oh, now I see.
Yeah.
Now I see why. And the next thing we got to talk about.
Yeah.
And we could have the next 2 episodes on this. But
what's that gonna be?
Why do so many grown ass men play the game, as they say?
The game.
We're gonna get to that next because I am going to submit that we're gonna save that for the next episode.
Hey,
let's get this double dap going. Anyway, this is OG Lee, Old School, New School,
podcast.
And we will see you again. Double dap.
OG Lee, UNDE, best father son podcast in America, baby.
Go spend
Schoolie
some
money. Like, comment, subscribe, man.
We out.
Ain't the tallest, but I'm ballin' like I'm 6'4".